Hello there and welcome to another video from Change Tips and Tools, and this is video number 6 in this PowerApps how-to series where we are trying to replicate the resource capacity planning template in Excel using PowerApps with SharePoint and Power BI. So let's finish off the static data, calendar and holidays, and get that done, and then we're going to do some simple navigation with the forms that we've already created. So without further ado, let's do this. Okay, so now we've got the basics here working. I need to do some things here. So I think on the on select, I want to make sure that we know that we made the change. So let me just expand that. So I think what I want to happen, so we'll shrink that. You'll only want this to become available if this changes. So let's go back to the apps and do the on start. I'm going to expand this and I'm going to set another variable here. So let's do for my holes, I'm going to do return here and do set their period edit. Yeah, and I'm going to set that to false. Let's close a bracket and do colon. Let's just run that app start. Go back to my screen holes here. So I'm going to set this visible property. Let's go to visible and let's make that their period. So there's period edit. I'm going to set it to that. So that's not visible now. And then what I'm going to do on these is on the so when this changes, if I do here and do my on change properties false, I'm going to make that and say right on change if their period, there's my period. Now it takes me a few minutes to realise that I typed the variable name wrong and I have to go and correct it. What a muppet. Anyway, back to the action. Oh, that's why. Well, let's just sort that out, leave that as is for a second. Let's go back to here. Look at the way I've taught, yeah. Look, I'll put a put a T there. So I'm going to do T R, so their period edit. Yeah, let's just do this properly. Comma. I'm going to set it to false. Close it, then close a semicolon. Yeah, format it. Let's run on start. Let's go back to holes here. Now this button here, yeah, visible is there. Yeah, right. Now on this, on change, I'm going to do if their period edit, then I'm going to go true. I'm just going to go their period edit I want to set it, and so I'm going to do set there period edit to true. I'm going to close the bracket. Otherwise, I'm going to set it let's set it so it's true. I want it to remain true on change. If it's false, I'm also going to set it so there edit there period edit, set it to true there as well. So basically, if it's true, I am going to do something with it. So let's just test that. Format it. And again, I'm just going to take that and do Control Copy. Let's take this one here as well. Let's do on change. Yeah. So what I want to happen is if I do save there, let's go to here and run it. Run start. Let's go on to holes. There's nothing there. If I do play, let's change this to the 31st. Good. And then I save it. Good. That works. So I only want that to appear when these change. So if I then just close that down, and then what I'm going to do is we will do so that's visible. Let's do unselect, and all I'm going to do here is for all. So I'm just going to do a if and do is error, and I'm going to do it on this. Yeah, so I don't need that there. So if that is an error, I'm then going to do notify. So notify message error calendar period not updated. Like quotation marks. The notification type is going to be an error. And let's just do it for 3 seconds and close that. Otherwise, I am going to notify and say changes updated successfully. Yeah, and do comma. Let's do notification error is success, and let's do comma 3000. So it shows a notification. Let's close it on that notification. Let's close it on the is on the if statement. Yeah, and then I'm going to do colon there. And let's do a return, and let's do set their period edit to false. Close the bracket, colon. Let's format that. That now should work. So let's press save and do play. So let's change this back to, let's do it to the 23rd. Let's do a save. Changes updated successfully. Great, and the button's disappeared. Wonderful. And if I go back into here and change this to 31st, it comes back again, save it, boom. And there you go. So should we add an undo button there as well? Let's add an undo button. Let's go the whole. So let's just take this. Let's take the save button. Let's do Control Copy, Control V. Yeah, and there it is. Let's move this to be there. Yeah, and let's change this to undo. And as far as the undo is concerned, it comes back, and let's go on select. Let's not do that. Let's just go undo. Let's get rid of all that. Let's take that. Let's move that there. Yeah, and let's just do that, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reload it. So let's do that then. Let's try that. Yeah. So let's do save. Let's do play. So I'll change that to 17th. Okay, I just need to change this. So on a minute. Let's take that there and let's make it undo. Let's change the icon to that. Let's just move it a little bit closer. Save it, play it, and then do undo, and it goes back to what it was. Bosh. So that works. So that looks better. Let's just check. So this, let's just check the main. So we got that works. This one, yeah, there. Oh, that looks like it's gone a little bit too. So let's shrink that. Let's look at the calendar. Let's just shrink that as well. So it all works. That fits. So I think that, and if we, do we need to shrink that down? Let's look at the text there. Let's copy that, Control Copy, and let's paste it. Let's move that up to there. Just going to move the container down a little bit. And let's just make that, change that to calendar period. Yeah. And I think that there works. So we've now got calendar period. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this container, I'm just going to get rid of that. Let's change this header to be a bit more. So calendar stroke holidays. Yeah, return. Just expand that out a little bit. There you go. So that now works. So we've got our again. I'm just going to take that. Let's take that and that, and let's just move that and that. Let's just move these over a little bit. Yeah. Let's take this period ID. Let's move that there. And I think that looks good. So just press play, save it, press play. Calendar period. So I want that to be the left. It's all about design, people. So let's take that. Let's make it the start. Let's make you the start as well. Okay. We want it to be, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Let's make you 20. Let's make you 20 as well. There you go. Right, that works. Okay, so that seems to be everything is in place, and it shows the update as well. Let's save that. So this is all good. So in the next, we need to provide some navigation, don't we? So the way that we're going to do that, and I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm going to duplicate my template screen, and let's duplicate it, and let's call this screen static data. Yeah. Oh, so that's some static data and do return. Let's put this all the way to the top. Let's take this and let's make this static data return. And then what we want is we want some buttons. So what we can do here is that in the order that we want them. So I'm going to insert a button. Let's give this let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it font size 25. It's going to be middle, and I'm going to align it in the middle. Let's make it a little bit wider. Yeah. So let's take that as my template. So let's move this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a container here because I want it to make it look up. So let's just put that there for a second. And let's, in fact, I'm going to get rid of that for a second. I want a container. Let's insert a container. And let's just turn that there, way down. Then let's add a button in here. Let's make this make it 25. So let's do what we did there. So I just want it in here in the container. 25. Return middle. Let's make that middle, and let's just make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. And this could be. So let's just put this as a container here. So I'm going to have, let's copy, do that, copy, paste. So I want, this is going to be my container static data, like so. This is going to be, and let's do those categories. Let's do programs, projects, and cross reference, and then let's do that. So let's make that one categories. Yeah. Let's make that 2 programs. Let's copy that, do control, and I want them to be actually left. Let's do left, control copy. This one's going to be 3, and let's make this projects. Yeah. And then let's make control copy, control V, let's move you down there, and let's make you 4 cross reference. Let's make that. See how that looks. No, I don't want it. So let's just delete that. So I've got categories, projects, and programs. Yeah. Then if I just duplicate that, in fact, let's just make that needs to get at the top. That one there needs to go to the bottom. So let's just take this and let's copy the container and then control V. So it copies everything. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that I'm going to delete. I'm going to do 4 cross reference. Yeah. And let's make that a little bit wider. I'm going to do control V again. Yeah. And let's put that there. I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to delete that one. And you are going to be 5, and that's going to be Let's do 5. Let's make that calendar. Let's do that as calendar. I'm going to take you. I'm going to copy. Control V. And let's make that one 4. Yeah, and let's make that skill sets. Yeah, hit return. That's going to be, so where's that one? That's there. Let's put it at the bottom. Just want it to tab. Let's make you 5. Yeah. And let's make you 6. Okay. So we've now got, and let's move that over slightly. So we got this one. Shrink it down. Let's move that to the top. We then got this one. This one. Let's move that. Oh. Shrink it down. Shrink that one down. Move that down below that one. Boom. Boom. Okay. So if I just look at that, and so we got buttons and buttons. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to do select here and do insert. I want an icon, and I want icon type is going to be that. Yeah, and then I'm going to take that, do control copy, control V, and just put that there as well, just so we've got an idea. Now this, on select, I'm going to use, so this is categories, I'm going to navigate, and my navigate is going to be the screen categories, and I'm going to close. This one, I'm going to do navigate, that's going to be screen programs. This one will be navigate screen. That's going to be projects. Close the bracket. And then this one will be navigate. Yeah, and it's going to be screen skill. Close the bracket. This one's going to be navigate. And that's going to be screen expert. So we want expert, there it is. Close the bracket on that. And then finally we want this one to be navigate. And that's going to be screen holes. Close the bracket. So that then gives us a way of navigating. So if I then go to categories, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do insert, and I'm going to go to classic here, and I want a classic icon. Yeah, I want classic icons here because they have interactive, and I want the back. So if I'm looking at this here, I've got drop down. there we go, the back arrow there. I'm going to insert that. Yeah. And then this on select, I'm just going to do back, and it'll take me to the back, the last back screen. So let's just change the color here. So color, let's undo that. Let's do this. Let's do that, yeah. So if I just test that, let's go to static data. Let's do play. Let's go to categories. I press that, and it goes back. Wonderful. So let's just close that. Let's go to categories, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. I'm just going to rename that as icon. Save that. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go to here, paste. Let's just move it there, and then I'm going to go to projects, paste, move it, go to screen expert, again paste, move it to the top there, and then skill, paste, move it, and then finally holes, I'm going to paste. Wonderful. Okay, so let's reload everything and save. Let's press play. So now I got, and a very simplistic calendar. I'm not being overly complicated here. I'm just going to go to, so from my static data, you know, I've got to follow these in order. Then I'll go do this. So I can click to any of these, and I can go back. I can go to cross-reference if I want to. I can go back, calendar. Now, one of the things I realised is I wanted to do some more testing because I wasn't really happy with, when we look at the skills piece and specifically the Xfer piece, I wasn't happy the way this was loading. So on here I made some changes, so which fundamentally means when the screen loads, so on when it loads this button here, and if I just look at that, you'll see if I expand it, so on select it loads the cross reference, but also then I just wanted to make sure that when it became visible as well, it not only, if I go to the on visible property, it not only ran that button, but also I wanted to make sure these buttons reset. So when I load it and we do play and I go into the cross-reference table, everything works appropriately by doing that reset, and that just seems to work better by adding that little bit in. So if I close that down on the Xfer screen, all I've done is on the on visible, as well as running that button there. If I go to the Xfer, is on visible, I've just added that little piece where select button Xfer reset, so it runs this button as well, just to reset these when it first loads up as well. So and that seemed to help with the lag because it was inconsistent when it was loading, and that seems to have fixed that problem. So I also made sure that all the screens, so if I go into my static data and do play now, all of them operate the same way. So we've got this exit edit mode is all working now on all of them. So programs, again, exit edit mode, and I've got it disappearing all the searches as well. So I've got all that working consistently all through it, and I just went through, did a tidy up and did some testing. Anyway, just wanted to let you know about those. Let's get back to the end of the video. So back to me. And there we go. So we've now created our static data. So if we open up Excel, so fundamentally here's Excel, and I've recreated all this. Now the advantages of what we've done in PowerApps is obviously I've got no limitation on this any longer, or this, or this, or this, or this. It will all grow, and I can update all these. And again, I've got no limitation on this. So if I go back to my Power App, and I can look at this from a, that's what it looks like, and I can go into, and I can maintain this from an iPad. I can even do it from an iPhone if I want to. And excellent. So there's no limitations on this stuff. I can add as many projects as I want, and so on. So if I just then go back to browser mode, close that down. So there we have it. We have the static data created. There's a lot of complex things on there. I've got, there've been long videos, but the next thing that we need to be able to do is, now that we've done that, is we need to create our resources, and also that's going to have a lookup on our skill set, and we then want to be able to build our resource capacity. We want to be able to enter planned leave or unplanned leave, and we also want to be able to do our resource demand and plot that out. So we need to create all those screens that are dependent on our static data. So we then need to do our resources, and that'll be in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, warts and all, as I figure it out in this journey to recreate that resource capacity planning template in PowerApps, SharePoint, and using Power BI. If so, please remember to click that like, subscribe, and smash that notification button for future content. And as always, I wish you an absolutely wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video from Change, Tips and Tools. Bye bye now.